The 3-wood. This is the Ping G425 3-wood. I have in my hands the LST, the low spinning tech, and I also have the Max. We're going to talk about the tech of these. Now, these have quite a unique idea of tech with what they're doing with the faces. Could we say that the face is slightly twisted a different way? Maybe? Because Ping are talking about an idea of spinsisticity. So spin consistency is what they're saying that these 3-woods have achieved. They've changed the face to allow for the bottom hits maybe not to spin so much. So if you get consistency of spin, you're going to have maybe more consistency of the same distance that you hit in each time. So you won't get the ones maybe dropping back that spin loads is the idea. So in effect, you could say it increases your distance because the average will go up. That just means on this instance, it's the miss hits are getting better is the idea. So we're going to test that because I've got my Cleveland 3-wood. So we'll compare the spin numbers and consistency to these. What do you reckon in the comments down below? Will there be a difference? Will one spin more consistently than another? And also, are you a 3-wood kind of a player? Is it a club you've got in your bag, using it off the tee instead of driver, those kind of ideas? What do you use your 3-wood for? Leave me in the comments down there, let me know. While you're down there, hit thumbs up button if you like the videos. And remember, you can subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss the next free golf video. So let's just kick off with the look of the two. So I've got the Max and the low spin. The Max looks bigger, presented down by the ball. We will look at the tech as we go on. Both clubs have this very nice, unique kind of 3-dot lineup system that does look really, really nice. I like the bigger dot than the two smaller ones, kind of draws it back for ball position. You can see it for opening and closing. I do like that. Both come in the matte black finish, which again just looks stunning, and they both hug the ground beautifully. It has to be said, Ping Fairway Woods have always been pretty bomber and pretty good. I feel like they're one of the companies that try maybe harder on a fairway wood than any others. The other companies seem to just make a fairway wood, where these guys do tend to kind of maybe put a little bit more love and affection into their fairway woods, I find. So we're going to hit some with the Max to start us off. Does look great down by the ball, like really good. So it's a pretty decent sound, like they're not quiet. I mean, they're a pingy sound, what I'd expect from Ping. I think the Max is really going to appeal to people who want the bigger head appealing down by the ball. But I mean, I did see a video the other day where you've got Bubba Watson using the Max in the fairway wood as well. So, you know, if the LST isn't really doing anything different to you, which will compare the numbers, you might just want to not give up maybe the fraction more MOI that you might get out of this one in theory. Now that just sounds bomby, feels great. I mean, they're pretty decent numbers to be fair. It'd be interesting to see if we do see a difference in the face. We will look at the tech in a second. The little line-up lines definitely do make it easy to line up. Ping always focus on that, it seems, with their clubs, which I like. I teach as many amateur golfers as I've taught through my life. Anything that helps them understand where the face is directed, orientated is good, because that is something that some golfers just get so wrong. So the sound is loud, it's like bomby sound. It's a great shape down by the ball. I don't mind the sound in a 3-wood. I'm trying to get the bombness of my 3-wood up like I am with my driver. I just think it looks great. Sounds firm, but looks great. So let's see how that compares to the LST. So in theory, low spin tech. It definitely presents that little bit smaller down by the ball that might, for some golfers, again, feel like they're gonna get that low spin bombing 3-wood that they might want. They might be confident enough with their strikes they don't mind that it's smaller looking. Again, I mean, I couldn't tell the sound stroke feel difference in those two. That just feels like the same club. Apart from the looks, it's the same tech in theory in all of them, which we're going to do in a second, but that just felt exactly the same. It just looks a bit smaller. Yeah, it does feel good. Out of the two, I think I'm edging more towards the Max. I don't see the point in making a really tough part of your game any harder. Like, if it's measurable that the bigger one is easier to hit, is often hard to find. But again, if there's 0.1% in there, when they feel the same, I don't know why you just wouldn't give yourself the 0.1 benefit that you might see over a year. Yeah, it feels good. I'm a bit leaky with my 3-wood at the minute. I am going to have to aim up the left a bit more. Let's go and look at the tech of these. They do feel good. Let's see what they're saying and how are they performing this consistent spin, this spinsicity word that they've made up. So you do get a smaller head in the LST, which you can see. Both clubs feature this spinsicity, so a complex face curvature modifies the roll profile. So basically the bottom of the club isn't turned under as much, which will increase ball speeds on those kind of low hits where you do get the higher spinning shots. That's on both of the clubs. Miraging steel face wrap, thinner, high strength steel wraps into the crown and the sole to increase flexibility, faster speeds, resulting in greater distance. You've got the alignment guides on both clubs that I'm talked about. The 3-dot alignment features golfers a visual clue to address at the ball best match their eye, is what they say. Both clubs tungsten weighting, high density tungsten sole weight, strategically positioned to increase MOI. So even though the LST might have a lower MOI, they're still trying to keep the MOI up, the number up, even though it's a smaller head. Both clubs come with the tuning technology, so you can tune it around to dial in plus 1.5 in loft adjustments, up minus 1.5, and then you've got 1 and 0. So you can go 1, 1.5s up and down in loft, and you've got flat lies as well. You can flatten them out. Stock shaft, aftermarket shafts as always, and both clubs come with the smart grips. Arcos Caddy in the grip, so if you want to collect data on how your club is performing, it will come pre-installed. So really it's a bigger head and a smaller headed version. In theory one's going to be a lower spin, but I mean just glancing at the numbers here, they look very, very similar. So I'm not sure even I will get that number out. I think you've got plenty of tech which is there to help. How much that spinsicity is actually visible, we'll see in our numbers in a second. I'm definitely edging towards the Max, because again, unless there's something really outstanding happening with the LST, which I'm not seeing in these, and that's a pretty average hit, and that's done all right with a Max, which is, you know, please help me, fairway wood from the ground. You know, for me to have a smaller headed fairway wood, I think there would just have to be a real standout benefit in the numbers, which I'm not sure if there will be. Right, we're going to have a little challenge after we've done the numbers. I've finally hit one straight, nearly a line ball, and that's done pretty good on its numbers as well. We're going to have a little whack distance challenge before we finish. Let's have a look at these numbers. So we kick off with a compare of the two clubs. Ball speed's very, very similar. The spin is the same. I mean, the Max is not spinning lower. They're exactly the same, really, with the standard deviations of 300 and 251. Nice, tight standard deviation. So is that the consistency of spin that Ping are talking about? Carrying 251, 247 in the Max. I'm going to argue just slightly better strikes in the LST on this batch of shots, which is interesting because, I mean, if anything, the LST has gone slightly higher on this batch of shots, which is not really what you would expect. Launching up at maybe a degree higher. Total yards, 271 to 269, 2 yards in it with a 4 yard standard deviation. I mean, they are as close as you can get. I'm surprised the LST isn't being found as the lower spinner. Maybe a bigger data set you would find it, but again, I always think, how many shots do you need to hit to find such small differences? Then how will that ever interpret out on the course? I see them as a bigger and a smaller, similar club, to be fair. So I'm going to hit some with my Cleveland 3 wood here, just to compare the spin numbers to see how it, you know, if we can see that consistency coming through. Because in theory, this one hasn't got that face. It's quite interesting because my 3 wood actually looks very Ping-esque, to be fair. So that's 3 with mine. I'm going to keep alternating through just to get the data set up a little bit higher. Quite a good thing to do when you're testing. Try not to get into too big of rhythms with one club. You want to really get your mess down to a minimum while you're testing. So this is the low spin one. Okay, so if I hit these through, let's go and see how the Cleveland stacked up to those original numbers. So I've added my numbers into the original ones now. My 3 wood spin's a little higher, but the carry was very much in the same kind of degree. You could argue it's the biggest standard deviation of carry by a yard, 4 to 3. But then it is the lowest spin deviation. So it's a higher spin, but the standard deviation is 162 compared to 300 or 251. So you would argue that's tighter spin tolerance. But again, for me, I would argue that really comes down to my message showing through. I think the difference is so small, it's going to be really hard to illustrate it with a human testing, which then does lead into the idea of actually what is new, what is different these days, isn't it? So what I'm going to do, even though the Max is the shortest one here, this is the one I feel most confident with. Let's go the Max against mine, and we're going to set a green out there. If you think about it, 270 standard deviation of 5 yards, so that takes it up to 270. 175. I'm gonna put a green out there, I don't know, at 290. Can we bomb one out there? What do you reckon? Right, green set at 290, so if you think about it, that's the flag. So I'm gonna have to get one of these going out at 280 to get on this green. Do you reckon I can get there? The Max v mine. What do you reckon in the comments down below? I'm gonna have to go at it to get it that far. This could be fun. Oh, it's slightly out the bottom. So SPINSISTENCY should be doing its thing there. I'll show you that one. I mean, it's come up short, it will hit like that. Nice and straight. So you can see the last shot here, low heel, 3/8 spin. I mean, the heel's adding spin. The lowness out of here would be interesting to see if it's any better, but that's plenty of spin, which is club head speed of nearly 107. Like it's done fine. I just think it doesn't matter if you make up a new word, I'm still rubbish. All right, Cleveland equivalent, and you're gonna get some funny strikes with me trying to hit a green at 290 with a fairway wood, because I'm gonna really be pushing my speeds control to the limits. So it's where you would want that SPINSISTENCY to come in. Now that's an unfair test because that is a much better strike. That slightly toey draw, it'll be lower spinning. Yeah, I'm gonna struggle to get this green. That's 270. So if we look at the last two, it's 1,000 revs difference. I mean, it's 1,000 revs difference. It's ridiculous. Less ball speed in mine. High launch because it was a better strike, but look at the distance in carry then resulting. It's just that strike to that strike is, no club can really, I mean, that you need them both there if you want to see what they're both going to do, which we know what they're both going to do. Very similar. 251 carry though, 270. I would say this green is pretty safe. Right, ping. Oh, that's an awful hit. So again, I'm trying, it's 109 club. You can see what I'm doing, I'm upping the speed, but it's a low heel strike again. We're gonna hit another one with that. So it's only 241 in total. The spin was 4,400. SPINSISTENCY, that. So 109 club. This has got the potential, both of them, to get there if I can strike it going at that speed. Again, it's slightly bottom hit. It's a better hit, but it's bottomy, so the spin's going to be up. 107 club. That green is so safe, isn't it? 3/9 spin. All right, let's try my Cleveland. See if I can get up to 110 club would be the answer here. 107 club. We might need to move that green closer, mightn't we? This is embarrassing. Oh, has chances of a better strike. So 251 carry, 3,000 spin. All right, couple more to finish then. Green definitely safe at 290. Both clubs performing well. I'm not seeing a massive difference from the ping with its face over mine that has not got that face. That's not to say that this isn't a good club. I mean, I could easily game this 3-wood. Oh, I could easily hit every shot with it thin as well. I'm gonna hit another one, 108 club, but that's just classic skanky fairway wood. It's just a 217 carry, that one. Just one more, crew. Might need just 50 more at this rate. Right, here we go. There we go, that's a nice hit. 106 club, found the direction. That's having a good effort, isn't it, for me? It's nearly 270 from the deck. 154 ball, 3-2 spin. I don't think you'll find a better 3-wood, but I think you'll find plenty of others that are as good as well. You know, if you're looking at other brands and what have you, I just think it's a good one in the market. I'm not seeing anything stand out apart from looks and feel I do really like. Right, again, that's a better hit. Come on, ping, 108. Slightly overshot that green, haven't I, in the old ego stakes. Right, one more with a ping. I am gonna lasso it. There we go. Got 105 club, really? That felt faster. And again, it's like I'm 270 max, aren't I? Good club, like it. Again, I'm not seeing anything that's particularly stand out. And I always think what's interesting, just gonna hit a couple, just one more go with my fairway wood. I think what's interesting is the thing that stands out the most is me. And that's exactly what the R&A USGA want. They don't want the clubs to be able to define the player. My mess needs to be the biggest factor in there, which I always think is interesting when people talk about one being better than another. God, if I can hang on to that 3-wood, that's close. That's carrying 250. Yeah, see, I reckon Mine's got a better chance, gets 270. Just one more go. Right, this review is over. Thank you for watching, everybody. Good 3-wood, go test. Always think about your mess in there. Try and keep that test, mix those clubs up. I think they're just solid 3-woods. Oh, stop cutting it. One more go, peoples. Oh, I'm just gonna have one more go. There we go. I really tried my hardest to control the face on that one. Do we have a winner? Get on that green. Go on. Oh, come on. That's a 262. It's a 262 carry. 3-wood, 108. 262 3-wood. Just gonna do that with a ping and just adjust my grip and face a little bit. 3-wood, I need to rejig with my new movement. I need to just work it out. Just gonna see if I can do the same again. Yeah, there we go, look. See, that's got as much effort, isn't it? That, if that was just that bit straighter, that's on the fringe as well, pretty much. 275, 259 carry with the ping. Interesting, isn't it? Again, back to my point, me being the bigger variable there. I do something and I squeezed out, like, you know, we're talking 10 yards, 9 yards extra carry there I'm squeezing out, just by adjusting a grip and a face angle. Oh, not enough, unfortunately. There we go. Oh, it's a 1010 club. So if we had time for just one more go, I would get that there, wouldn't I? Oh, go on then. Honestly, I'm not offended if no one's watching anymore. This is literally just me, one more go in. My 110 with this. Strike in place. 109, didn't get the face quite right. But that is close, isn't it? With the face in a better place. 256 carry, 154 ball. I mean, they're my old driver numbers. There you go. It was just 10 more goes, wasn't it?